A deep conviction that you feel to be true is far more important than anything you could ever think of. Feeling is the secret, right? You feel yourself in the wish-fulfilled state. You feel what it would be like to already have accomplished your goal. So with that, let's just dive straight into the presentation. And this is the first aspect, inner knowing, deep conviction. This is what Neville said about this, because of course he was very knowledgeable about the fact that you need to have this inner knowing, and that makes the manifestation way more smooth if you first know that it's done within, and then you simply let it happen without. So what you feel deeply is far more important than what you are thinking. You may think about doing something for a very long time, but you never do it. But when you feel something deeply, you basically suppose you then can't resist the new actions that will come from this new state. Because again, once you shift internally in a new desired state, that new state comes with new thoughts, new ideas, new impulses, new actions, new results, new manifestations. So when you only think about something, you never change. When you really feel yourself to be that new version, then you will also act upon it. The second part is you can think of 1,000 things, like I said, but you will not be moved to act on them. Only a deep conviction that is felt, that is far more important than anything you could ever think. So being it and feeling is the secret. Again, that's why Neville said this, feeling the relief of now being this version of you, feeling what it would be like, that is far more powerful in creating your desired circumstances than thinking of them and seeing them at a distance. The second aspect is the feeling of naturalness, right? The satisfaction you gain when you spiritually sense the fulfillment of your desire, when you encounter the wish fulfilled inside of yourself. Now, it might take only a moment, or you may take only 3 years, right? So it might take a moment, it might take months, it might take years. I can't tell you how long it's going to take, but I'll tell you this much. It can be measured by the feeling of naturalness. So what Neville is saying here is that he can't specifically tell you how long the manifestation of your desire will take. But once you obtain the feeling of naturalness and this like calmness, right? Your mood becomes more calm. When you think about your desire, it's no longer from a lack premise and oh my God, it would be so nice. No, it's more so from a, yeah, it's already who I am. It's already natural for me. You react automatically from already having achieved it from that end state. So you can measure on the feeling of naturalness, you can measure on your reactions to life, which will be the third key, that you have shifted and that the knowingness sets in. And you can wear a feeling until it's natural. The moment the feeling becomes natural, it will begin to bear fruit within your world. So the question is, how can naturalness be achieved? I also made a lot of videos about this on my channel, but naturalness can be achieved by filling up your inner world with the relief, with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? With the end state. If you fill your inner world up with that, if you maneuver back into the end state of what it would be like, or you reimagine the scenes that imply the end for you, utilize any technique to bring the desired state in the here now, the more you fill up your inner realm with that, at some point it becomes boring to continue to do techniques or imagine it, because you already convinced yourself, you already know that it is done, right? So then you can measure that again because you feel natural about it. It's kind of certain to you, it's normal for you. The third aspect are new reactions, and that is very important to understand. So Neville asked this, right? How will I know that I've changed the feeling of I? How will I know that I've moved internally, that I've shifted my state, that I've shifted the reality? How will you know that? By beginning first with an uncritical observation of my reactions to life, and then noticing my reactions when I think that I'm identified with my choice. If I assume that I'm the man that I want to be, let me observe my reactions. Why did I say that this is important? Because again, your reactions to life are flowing from your internal state. Your reactions to life have not so much to do with the circumstances, because you can put two people in front of the same television with the same news, and the news are about this crisis and this is happening and this, yet two people react to that completely different. One person that is in a lax state when it comes in a more fearful state, they maybe get very anxious, they maybe get very fearful about their finances, about their health, about this and that. Another person that is completely calm, completely secure, completely financially stable within, completely healthy, they see news and they're not bothered by this. So based on how you react, you can see in which state you are, if you already are in the knowingness that it is yours, if you're already living in the end state, or if you're still hoping for it, if you're still in the desiring state. If your reactions have not changed yet to life, right? If you still have the same reactions when you think about your desire, when you see circumstances, then you have not identified yourself with your new state. For your reactions are automatic. And so if I'm changed, I would automatically change my reactions to life. Like I said, your reactions are automatic. Your first reaction to something, if I say money, finances, health, X, Y, and Z, like relationship, partner, I could go on the list for a very long time. You instantly have like an attitude towards that, an assumption about that, a reaction to that. And that determines in which state you are right now. So the changing of the feeling of I, aka the shift internally in the new state, results in a change of new reactions. Which change of reaction is a change of environment and behavior, right? So if you notice that your reactions have changed, that means that your internal state have changed. And when you change your internal state, that eventually will lead to new external circumstances. And now we talked about those three aspects, right? Inner knowing, deep conviction, feeling something to be true, creating this feeling of naturalness, right? That our desire no longer remains like something we are euphoric about, but that we're clear, that we are sure that yes, this is who we are, that is what we have and what is going to happen on the outside, and that we notice that our reactions have changed. Now I want to talk with you about some quotes from Bentino and also from Neville. So the most powerful practice to know is to know that it is done. When we know something, it is fact, it is reality, and that becomes our universe. As soon as there is total knowingness, it'll be reflected in your circumstances, in your reality, everywhere. So very straight to the point, not, no hype, no fluff. Simply the decision that it is already so, which can only happen when you understand some other core, fundamentals, such as creation is finished. And then since creation is finished, when you have a desire, that means that this desired state is available, and then you can know it is done. It's simply like a choice. But in the beginning, it won't feel like a choice because, like Bentino is saying, it starts off as like a practice, right? You practice to get into this knowing that it's done via all the various methods that are out there. But eventually, right, the knowing that it is done is super powerful, because when you know it is done, then it is a fact. When you know it is so, then it needs to be already an unseen fact, an unseen truth, an unseen reality. The most powerful way to create your life the way you want it is simply to know that it has already happened, that it is true, that it is already so. If you can immediately shift your knowingness, then you no longer need any technique, any in-between steps. You don't need anything. If you can simply know it is already so, I am already it. It has already happened. So like I said, for some people this will seem challenging because they're not kind of like maybe practice in those things. But decide to be really good at this. Decide to practice this. Practice knowingness. Knowing is the most powerful. If you can go straight to the knowingness aspect, which is knowing that something is done, then it is done. How otherwise will you know and feel that it is already so? Right? Therefore, it needs to be already in existence, and you can know that it's done. Because your knowingness, aka consciousness, creates reality, you are in. So it becomes physical immediately. Right? And don't be attached to if it happens immediately or not. It's more so that you internally stand in the firm conviction that it has happened, that it is yours. And maybe even in the beginning that even it is possible, but then later on more so that it is already yours. And then that can happen in your circumstances in a echoing and delayed way sometimes. And now this is Neville's point of view on that. So when the desire is upon you, that is the time to accept your wish in its fullness. So when a desire comes, don't delay it, don't feed it by thinking of it, right? The more you think of your desire and of what you want, the more you feed, and the more you indicate that you don't have it yet, and the bigger the desire grows, right? No, when you have the desire, accept it as its fullness and accept that as being done. Perhaps there are reasons why the urge is given to you at this time. Your three-dimensional being, your rational mind, that is what Neville is meaning here, might think that it cannot be, that it cannot happen, that it's not possible, that it needs to take a very long time, whatever. But your fourth dimensional mind, your imagination, your consciousness, your infinite self knows it already is. So the desire should be accepted by you as a physical fact right now. Suppose you want to build a house. Now, this is a very good example. The urge to have it is right now. Okay, so right now you have the desire to have this, to build this, to buy this, to achieve this. You right now have the desire. But it's going to take a time for the trees to grow and the carpenter to build the house. Right? Same for if you want money success, if you want business success, if you want health, if you want the relationship you want, right? You have the desire now. And when you go to the end, you go through stages, right? It's not that you wake up tomorrow and you have the thing. Of course, you're going to do stuff, encounter stuff, things are changing around you, but it's already, flowing from the new state. Although the urge seems big, do not wait to adjust it, right? So don't play your desire small. So when you want, for example, 10K a month, then don't say, oh, right now I earn 2,000. Maybe I can double that, but 10K, it seems, no, if the desire is 10K, if the desire is to be really financially stable, for example, if it's 100K a month, if it's being, wealthy, whatever it is, if it's for health, if it's for your relationship life, whatever it is, then don't adjust to it. Accept it as it is. Go straight to the end. Only accept your ideal. But claim possession now and let it objectify itself in its own strange way, in its own mysterious bridge of events that is going to unfold. Do not say it will take 6 months or a year. I don't know. Neville doesn't know. Again, the time is pretty irrelevant. When you live in the wish-fulfilled, time is irrelevant because then you are internally in your inner reality already living in a state of having it. Then you will no longer wait and hope for it. So that the minute the desire comes upon you, assume it is already a fact. You and only you have given your desire a time interval, and the time is relative when it comes to this world. Do not wait for anything to come to pass. Accept it now as though it were and see what happens. Right? You alone have given your desire a time interval. You alone are saying, oh, it hasn't happened yet. Probably it takes this more and this more. But the practice that we want to basically do here when manifesting is accept that now is being a done deal. And because it is done within, then the without can reflect that back, since it is a confirming mirror to our internal world. So these were the 3 aspects that I wanted to show you, right? These were the quotes that I wanted to share with you. And in case the question did not get answered for you, how you can achieve knowingness, how you can get to the point of knowing that it is done, again, it can be as simple, like Bentino said, as like a decision, like Neville also said. You can decide it, you can feel into that. You can, of course, also utilize the methods and the techniques. With this video, I wanted to explain more to you why it is important, that it can definitely be achieved, and that, various people talked about this point of knowingness. But achieving the point of knowingness basically happens when you utilize those methods that also Neville shared, that I shared on my channel, right? The techniques can be ways to accomplish this knowingness, because by doing them, you shift into the wish fulfilled. And the more you dwell within, in the feeling of being and having who you want to be and what you want to have, the more you fill up your inner space with that conviction, with that feeling, the more it will grow natural to you. The more you will establish this knowing from this internal experience, from this internal shift. If you need any help with that, or if you still lack some information, if that video did not include what you thought it would, maybe, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Also, check out the free masterclass if you want to learn how to shift into the desired version of yourself. That already comes with your desired manifestations. So that's the first link in the video description, pinned comments. And if at some point, and you know what is happening right now, the advertisement part of it, but I still think it is important that you hear it. If at some point you say that what I'm sharing, what I'm talking about, what Neville talked about, what some other people that I'm referring to sometimes here and there on my channel are talking about actually makes sense, actually is real, actually, does work, and you are feeling that all of this makes sense, you want to learn more about it, you want to go deeper, you want to go to the next level, you want my accountability, like-minded people, a structure, coaching, like all of that in one package, then feel free to apply for a free call with my team or me so that we can find out if you are a good fit for our program. And that's it. Knowing that it is done. A big topic, oftentimes talked about in the manifesting community, but the knowing again sets in either because you decide that now it is done, right? You know that creation is finished, or because you imagine it to be done, and then this belief, this conviction automatically grows. That's it from my side. Speak to you in the next one. Bye, guys.